met in August of 2014. It's been a whirlwind. It's honestly hard to believe. That sounds so cliche, but it's very hard to believe it's been 5 years.
When we met online, I was very honest about who I was in my online profile. I had pictures of myself with my wheelchair because I didn't want anyone to be surprised or if they were perhaps disappointed, then that would not be the person for me. And so when Justin, when we both swiped right and he hit me with the great opening line of nice eyes.
I wasn't lying.
It just started from there. When Justin and I were first dating, we definitely, I fell really quickly because I'm just crazy about him.
And she couldn't just move in here. Obviously, I had to make some adjustments to the house.
And then Harvey struck in 17.
And we had to renovate again. There's a picture of her in a boat being rescued right out here in front of our house.
We did not decorate for Christmas because we were leaving to move into a hotel and we had to completely empty out the house. And Justin and I literally had our entire wedding planned, like dress, venue, everything was planned except we were not officially engaged. So I thought he's gonna wait until 11:59 on New Year's Eve to propose. My best friend came in town and we went shopping and got my hair and nails done because I was getting engaged the next night. And we get home and it was really dark in the house. I was like, why are the lights out? And I rolled in and the lights weren't out. There were just candles lit everywhere, and he had gone up into the attic and gotten all of our Christmas stuff down. And the house just looked magical. It was beautiful, the tree and stockings and lights, and I just was like, oh my gosh, this is it. And so he brought me inside and he said, I haven't given you your Christmas gift yet. And I said, no, you haven't, and oh my gosh. And this is it. And he brings me over to the Christmas tree and he pulls out this huge box. And I was like, oh, this isn't it, but that's okay. And so he opens the box of sand. And he said, you may not remember this, but when we first started dating, you told me that you have never felt sand beneath your feet. And he was right in that discussion. I just explained that I don't get to go on romantic walks on the beach and I don't enjoy the sand because it's difficult. And so he took my boots off and he put my feet in the sand. And he said something along the lines of, I know this is your only time to experience this, and I want what's gonna happen next to be your only time to experience it too. And he pulled out a little box, and I was like, oh, okay. And he got down on his knee and proposed. And I said yes. So the first summer that we dated, Justin had obviously has a pool. The pool is it's just a really special place for us. We just have the ability to be close physically versus having a wheelchair in between us. And the first time that we got in, he said, I have an idea. He said, you know what I'm gonna do? You know what we're gonna do? I said, no, and he said, we're gonna dance. It took me a long time to really be comfortable with who I was, and it didn't come in probably until about my mid-20s, and I just gained a confidence, and I just decided I was made to be somebody's partner. And despite that I'm not gonna do the traditional things that a wife typically does, that doesn't mean that I'm not gonna be a great partner for somebody. Justin is not my caregiver in the traditional sense of he doesn't get me up in the morning or, help me get into bed at night. Like all of those daily routines that people go through, I have a set of caregivers that come in. We call them the villagers because it takes a village to make our lives work. Certainly a husband or a wife or a partner can be a caregiver in a bigger capacity than Justin is for me. I don't want him to ever think that I need him to be a caregiver versus to be my husband. There are certainly things that he does for me. Every night, Justin gets up in the middle of the night and turns me over to make me more comfortable, except for Tuesday.
No turn Tuesday.
No turn Tuesday, yes. Because no one should have to be disturbed every night of the week. I just want him to know that he gets to be my husband. He doesn't have to be my hairdresser. I don't know that he'd be a good hairdresser.
Yes.
Yeah. I think one of his things that he questioned is, are we going to be able to travel? That was something that was important to him, and it most definitely was to me, because I don't think that having to use a wheelchair should stop you from enjoying the world. I kept telling him, my wheelchair, it does fine. You put me on the plane, they put the chair in the belly of the plane, and really it's just, it's fine, it's gonna be good. And literally when they brought the wheelchair up to the door.
At midnight in Midway Airport, Chicago, place is empty.
The joystick of my chair was just dangling by a thread. It is a challenge, and things can happen, but you just have to roll with it. You just really have to accept that things are going to happen and control your reactions to them, because they're going to be okay. I'm about to start my 20th year as a third grade teacher. It's a wonderful job. The kids are so helpful, and there's so many things that I can't do, and I have little 8 and 9-year-old helpers all day long, so that is wonderful. And then at the same time, I think they're really experiencing what it's like to help others, and for one of the first times in their lives, really having to think outside of themselves. To see an 8-year-old kid at the end of my day when I'm exhausted helping me pick up my arm and move it in the right spot, that's certainly not something that they've had to do for any of their other teachers. And so I think that those lessons are just kind of woven through the year, and they hopefully leave better people, having had a teacher with a disability. My disease is called spinal muscular atrophy. I have type 2, and I was born with it. It's a neuromuscular disease. As of October of this year, I started taking a new drug that stops the progression of the disease. Being involved in organizations like United Spinal, being a part of
a community.
Yes, absolutely.
Several communities, and your community can be defined however you want.
Finding people who are like-minded, finding people who are encouraging. But the only way to find those people is to get out and do things. I think also, when Justin met me, had I been wallowing in my circumstances, nothing of that would have been attractive to him. And the same thing if Justin would have, been a negative person that was wallowing in whatever his stuff was, that wouldn't have been attractive to me. I think that, being positive and feeling good about yourself is contagious. And Justin felt good about me because I felt good about myself. And that's a bottom line.